So the Raiders are my 31st ranked team, which really does sound bad, and it mostly is, to be fair. But with the Raiders, there's a bit more hope than there is with the Panthers, even though the Panthers do have the number one overall pick from last year at quarterback. With the Raiders, they obviously do not have a situation like that at the most important position in the league. They have Gardner Minshew, who is 30th out of 37, according to my quarterback metric, that combines 6 advanced stats into one universal metric. So, with that said, Minshew is pretty bad. I don't really know what you would describe his skills as. He has a lot of glaring negatives. He's not really mobile. He has a weak arm. He can't beat man coverage. And the list kind of goes on and on. He doesn't really process the field super quickly. So, yeah, there's not a lot to like about him. He is pretty cool, though. He's got a mustache. That's something, I guess. Moving forward, they are a lot more competitive on the defensive side of the ball than a team this bad should be. They're 19th in defensive expected points added and 23rd in defensive success rate, which, if you don't know what those stats are, I have a video that breaks them down. They're very good stats. And yeah, the Raiders are proficient in them. So how are they so bad? They have the obviously awful quarterback. And as we'll see, they're just missing a lot of pieces throughout the team as well. They have, I would say, 3 above average defenders on their team that at least start. Maybe they have some rotational guys that are above average also. But I would say, as far as starters go, it's 3 guys. Max Crosby is their star edge rusher. He is, I would say, a top 5 edge rusher. He's definitely had a down year this season, but a down year for him is still being a really good edge rusher. So that's not bad. Surprisingly enough, Tyree Wilson, I would also describe as being above average. He's not much of a pressure getter yet, but he is using his athletic abilities to defend the run very well. So he is an above average player, I would say. And Isaiah Pola-Mao, he is above average also at safety. He kind of came out of nowhere. I think he's been in the league for 3 years, or maybe this is his 4th year. Either way, he's been in the league for a little bit now, and this is the first time he's really contributed, and he's doing so at a really high level, actually. So I'm really impressed by him, and I'm really pleased to see him be as solid as he is. Moving forward, as far as their offensive line is concerned, they're 18th in my pass blocking stat, which combines PFF's team grade with ESPN's pass block win rate. So they're not bad. Again, they're better than they should be for being the 31 ranked team in the league. Speaking of which, Jakobi Meyers is a solid number 1. He shouldn't be a number 1. Ideally, he should be a number 2 or maybe even a number 3 at the absolute best. Absolute best for the team, I mean. He could definitely be a number 2 and you would still be fine. But Meyers, he's 24th in yards per game and 74th in yards per reception, which does illustrate his skill set pretty well. He is conventionally a slot receiver that gets it done in the short to intermediate parts of the fields. And field, it's not plural, fields. Anyways, he is also going to be a little bit less proficient downfield than he actually is, though, because, again, Minshew is not really a deep downfield type of passer. So there's definitely some elements missing with Meyers' game, but it's also exaggerated a little bit. Somebody that doesn't really have anything missing from their game, though, is Brock Bowers, who is, I would say, one of the, at a minimum, 10 best tight ends in the league for rookies seasons. I would say probably 3 or 5 is more accurate, though. Bowers is already a top 5 tight end in this league, I would say. He's second in yards per game for tight ends and 21st in yards per reception among tight ends. So yes, he isn't getting deep downfield as efficiently as you would like to see, but he can still do it with some proficiency. And again, Minshew is not going to really aid in his proficiency there. So I love Bowers. I think he is an underrated player because people do realize he's good, but I don't think they realize the extent to which he's good. Being second in yards per game for tight ends, your rookie here, is incredible. And he's an above average blocker also, especially when he's lined up as a slot. He is a monster blocker for a slot wide receiver, and he's fine as an inline blocker, which is really impressive because he's kind of small for the tight end position. As far as the yuck would be concerned for their receiving options, Trey Tucker is bad, and DJ Turner is very bad. Those are their second and third options. So that's pretty egregious. What's also awful is they do not have any support whatsoever from their run game, as they're 32nd in offensive rush success rate, which looks at their success on a play-by-play basis and see if they get more than is expected given the situation from the history of those same situations. That's pretty awful to be 32nd in rush success rate and to have just 2 receiving options that are solid. They're not putting Minshew in a good position to succeed, and he's not helping them out really either. It's a really bad situation all around, and that's how the Raiders are the 31st ranked team in the league. Those are my thoughts on the Raiders. Be sure to let me know what yours are in the comments section, and also be sure to like and subscribe for more content.